Hello and welcome to my page. I am coming at you from a hammock because why not? And today I want to talk about what I'm passionate about. Um, this is a big one for me. I have a totally different way of coming at self help within my courses, within my content, within everything. And it is a shift that is not commonly used, it's not usual, and it needs to be out there way more. Okay, so thank you for being here. And so let's talk a little bit about the passion. So, what I'm really big on and really, really passionate about is compassion. And how does that really relate to self help and being furthered in your life? It's because we all grew up, and I'm not sure about you guys, but for me, we all grew up with this idea that we want to be the good girl, we don't want to be scolded, we don't want to be the bad girl, those sorts of things. So we were put under a lot of pressure to be this certain type of person, and some of our nuances were not necessarily honored, right? Um, so it became this thing where you wanted to please your parents by being perfect. So that was fine when we were kids, but it doesn't translate to adulthood because we need to come into a place where we have compassion enough for the ups and downs of life, for the experiences that we go throughout life. I'm going to sit up because my arm's getting tired. There we go. So like the experiences that we go throughout life. So what do I mean by that? I mean that when you start learning language, when you start a family, when you start a relationship, you are not going to be good at it. Not at all. When you start a self-help practice or a meditation practice, if you start wanting to take care of yourself better, you are not going to be good at it. Not at all. Not in the beginning. And I use the learning a language as the specific one that, because it makes a lot of sense to people, right? You're not going to pick up Spanish and suddenly you're excellent at it. That's not how that works. So you need to come at it from a place where you feel full and embodied and you feel good and you feel like, you know what, step one, I'm going to learn these words. And then next week, I'm going to learn these words. And you're going to fumble, but it's okay because you're learning. But then in every other aspect of life, you do not give yourself that grace. You do not give yourself that compassion. You expect that the moment that you start taking care of yourself or doing something along those lines, that you need to be perfect at it. Oh, that was a wasp. So we get frustrated with ourselves and then we want so bad. So then we punish ourselves because that worked, right? When we were kids. We punish ourselves. You know, for example, you look in the mirror, you don't feel beautiful, and you say to yourself, I'm ugly, I need to start exercising, or whatever it is. So we punish ourselves thinking that on the other side of that will be productivity. On the other side will be what we do best, the thing that you want, right? And like I said, that worked for us when we were kids, but it does not work for us now. Not at all. And so that's the shift. That's the big, big thing. That is my claim to fame. This is what I teach. This is what my students receive. This is what you will receive should you decide to join me, is this sense of compassion, this sense of a beginner's mindset. When you start learning the Spanish, then having that beginner's mindset is what's so necessary. And so I'll illustrate this with a story. So when I first found out that I had breast cancer, I was terrified, of course, but I did this thing that I am known for, which is springing into action. And I said, I'm gonna learn a language while I'm off work. I'm gonna totally rock this. I'm gonna be so good at it. Everything's gonna be totally great. And I'm going to spiritually bypass this entire situation by thanking the cosmos for this lesson that I'm going to learn. And then I never have to feel pain, right? Oh, there's that wasp again. And so that is what I went off and did. And I had this extraordinary counselor, and I still have her, and she is extraordinary. And she said to me, you cannot spiritually bypass this. You have to feel it. You have to be mad. You have to be upset. You have to be angry that this is happening to you. And myself, growing up as, I want to be the good girl, I didn't express anger. I didn't express rage. It would just come out in these, everything's fine, everything's fine, everything's fine. And then Christine blows up, and then everything's fine again, right? And so she said, no, you have to intentionally express this rage. And in our many sessions together, we would express rage. And it was so uncomfortable, let me tell you. But it was so necessary. And so when you come at these things that you want in life, you have to allow yourself to be where you are. Back to that beginner's mindset, right? That where you are is everything you need to be. That is that compassion. And so I had compassion for myself during the process. And I was sometimes okay, and I was sometimes not okay. But here's the razor's edge difference, right? Most people, when they're not okay, are mad at themselves for not being okay the entire time. They're in this place of shame until it subsides. And then they pick themselves up, they dust themselves up, and they take their bruised asses off to the rest of their lives, right? But what if everything could be okay? What if not being okay was okay? What if not being good at the thing you want to be good at yet is okay? What if all those things were okay? How much space could be left for you, right? How much space could be left if you were constantly in this place of shame, followed by action, then shame, action, shame, action? It worked for you when you were a kid, but it does not work for you now. And to further that, it didn't really work for you when you were a kid either. It was just effective. But now as an adult, I don't want you to live that life. I want you to have compassion for where it is that you are. So this is the core essence of what I teach in Embody You, which is available for enrollment until September 11th. Okay? September 12th we begin. So share your story with me. Let me know what resonated with you. Comment below, DM me your story. How has compassion played into your life, and where did it make room for you? Where were you able to have something shift for you in that way? Okay? So all my love to you. As always, I hope that you have a beautiful day and that you feel at peace.